in Eket in 1961, that's about 55 years ago, has been under pressure, especially from the people of the area, to relocate its headquarters from Lagos to Eket, where majority of its oil wells are located. Right from the entry into the town, from the state capital, the deplorable roads welcome you into what is the third largest town in AKWA state after Uyo and Ikotopene.
It is unimaginable that in the heart of the Niger Delta, known for the production of the country's crude oil, and precisely in Eket in AKWA State, South Nigeria, known as the Oil City, and host community of one of the oil giants and multinationals in the country, you will find township roads as bad as this. And if it is this bad in the town, then you can only imagine what the rural areas will look like.
The absence of a drainage system explains why the condition of roads in Eket has continued to get worse by the day. We are told that there was a major flood disaster in the city in 2015, which also because there was no drainage to channel rainwater away from the streets.
People are getting injured because of the bad road. So I beg whether government can compensate to do all the road, because the road is too bad. It's too bad because of the erosion. So I beg government to take over and do something about it, so that the way as Indians can benefit from the road, we can do something. And now there is no way for us to move from here, from this place to the other because of bad road. We don't have good roads here. On my own view, what I see is that the problem that we have is from the elders of this community. They are not doing well. They take our rights on their own pocket. Then they allow us to suffer with all these bad roads. But if you can buy your car before you know one week, your car will have come. The streets was done by the NNDC, and I know the NDDC. Yes. So the state government, they are trying to do a carbon here that don't say those again, the road don't go. You will suffer. No even for that water to enter personal, carry something flow like this. So no road for it. That's some sorrow to suffer for road. This is our matter now. We get for road now. So we don't put for it. But I don't come to this road for it. No, they will put the township. But I said I don't even fall down. All the people down are water. All the people to sell market down. The water will carry the market.
The situation with the roads in Eket may not have gone so bad if the establishment of the AKWA State Roads and Other Infrastructure Maintenance Agency in 2013 by the state government was not a waste. It is a sad story that brand new construction equipment acquired by the state government with taxpayers' money and allocations from the federation account were allowed to waste and in most cases be cannibalized by vandals and thieves for about 4 years and counting. While the state government has been unable to maintain the township roads or construct new ones for years, it now says there is a remodeling master plan for Eket, but with no clear time frame for when this will be done.
I must tell you the truth, Eket is the oil city where even MOBIL is producing lots of oil because Signal is under the Eket axis there. When this government came into place, His Excellency noticed that the place was not in very good shape. You know, no single government can get all things done. And so he decided to remodel Eket. If you look at the master plan of this government, Eket is talking about remodeling of Eket metropolis. And since it's a fully built-up area, when you start such jobs, it will not go at the speed of doing a job in a virgin area. It's going to take government a while because with all the structures, permanent structures and people living there, to take them off, relocate them, and then get this entire place cleaned up, it would take a while. For Eket remodeling, it's been squarely left on the shoulders of government, and I think that is why there was a bad agitation by the people from there that MOBIL producing should relocate their headquarters to Eket. Maybe if their presence was there, there would have been the need to do more. But currently, Akwa Ibom State government is solely responsible for the remodeling of Eket. But for Eket Ibom Road, which leads to their MOBIL terminal, they did support government, even though the support wasn't enough.
It will obviously take some time for Eket to see that change that the residents want in the condition of their roads. But for now, what has been done in the oil city is the ingenuity of the commercial motorcycle operators who reconstruct their vehicles to install umbrellas that will protect them and their passengers from the hazards of the weather, talking of the rain and sunshine. A number of the residents also shared their many other challenges facing the city, which as expected includes epileptic power supply, even though MOBIL Producing Nigeria Unlimited was granted a license on March 29, 2014 for a 575 megawatts power plant in Eket.
So I want to go our government to help us and do this place for us.
Is there anything what federal government don't do for Eket?
No, the federal government no do. Since government has passed, so this way nobody has given this public water supply. In fact, it's not that public water that when I was youth, when I was small, that we used to see is not available again. All by that's the water called by the water board. It's not available. We only use borehole. Yes, all over.
The youth that are youth now, what have you done? Have you met the local government chairman? Have you met NDDC? Have you make any request that you should do?
Well, yes, what they are saying is true. But what we have here is that we have transition chairman, which I know that they cannot do anything. Because if they give us the opportunity to put somebody, that's where we went to somebody and that person and said, this is what we want.
What was the last local government election in Akwa Ibom?
Since far back, during the time of Akwa Ibom, that first thing, yes.
For many Nigerians, the images that come to mind when Abuja, the nation's capital, is mentioned are those of flyovers which a number of the states across the country do not have at the moment. There are also the many skyscrapers, high-rise buildings, architectural masterpieces with aesthetics, countless dual carriageways lit with street and traffic lights, and then public utilities amongst others. Many say these images and perceptions are the immediate cause of what gave birth to the violent militant activities in the Niger Delta in the late 90s. Remember the 2 million man march organized by Daniel Kanu's Youths Earnestly Asked for Abacha here, where youths from the region, talking of the Niger Delta, were amongst those across the country said to have been brought to the capital city of Abuja for the very first time in their lives during the self-succession campaign of the late military head of state, General Sani Abacha. The explanation is that the youth became aggrieved that the money from the oil sales from the exploited Niger Delta region was being used to build the federal capital territory, Abuja, at the expense of their home communities where the crude oil is being explored. However, years down the line, Abuja, which has attracted more people across the country and indeed the world, has continued to grow in population without commensurate expansion in its infrastructure and facilities. The Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has a total landmass of about 8,000 square kilometers. And out of these, 250 square kilometers were carved for what is called the Federal Capital City, FCC, and divided into districts. Development of this district was divided into phases, with phase 1 made up of Asokoro, Central Area, Garki, Garki 2, Guzape, Meitama, Wuse, and Wuse 2 districts. In phase 2, there is Durumi, Gadua, Gudu, Jabi, Jahi, and Kado districts. The others include Katampe, Kaura, Mabushi, Utako, and Wuye districts. For phase 3, we have the popular Gwarimpa 1 Life Camp, Gwarimpa 2, Kabusa, Kiama, Lokogoma, Mbora, and Piakasa districts. There is also the phase 4 with Gwagwa, Idu, and Ketu districts, amongst others. Most of these districts, if not all of them, have not been completely developed. The worst affected are those in phases 2, 3, and 4. In most of these areas, private developers have constructed housing estates to provide accommodation for millions. In fact, it is very difficult to find a government quarters in a number of these districts that have been sold to the occupiers, as was the case with the 2004 monetization policy of the federal government. In all the private estates that we visited in a number of the districts, network of roads have been constructed, but then all of them seem to have major issues with the access roads. In Lokogoma, which was designed as a mass housing residential district with some of the most popular housing estates in the capital city, most of the facilities there do not have access roads, despite confirmation that the developers had paid authorities of the Federal Capital Territory development levies to construct the roads. But the last time we visited the area, the residents and other private investors had taken up the challenge and responsibility to construct some of the access roads by themselves, with the authorities having failed to do so.
I passed through that place day before yesterday. I saw something like that, but I didn't know the people responsible for the action.
It's actually the residents there that have put together the money to get the job done.
I think it's what we are trying to do out here too.
It's a private initiative, and they are more organized. They can contribute money. The residents of the estate, they have the way without to do that. But here is a mixture of middle, low class income earners. If you tax them, some of us might not be able to afford that.
You see road where they do now, they pursue people. Where we go around now, they pursue people. Where we moving, no way. Follow here, no way. SARS, police, civil defense, all the people, they will come and disturb us here. Where we are managing our life to survive. No work. People are finishing school, no work. Education, people who finish secondary school, university, no work on Okada. Then they do take with their family.
We are here on the Lokogoma Junction Road in Lokogoma district of the Federal Capital Territory. It's actually a mass housing district to provide accommodation, and just right behind me are hundreds of estates that have provide accommodation to thousands of families. But then the only access road, the major access road to this residential area is in deplorable condition, and just like you can see, vehicles struggling to make their way in and out of this area. But then one other striking thing is just on my left is a garden just being constructed by the Parks and Recreation Department of Abuja Metropolitan Management Council, perhaps to provide a leisure, perhaps to provide recreation for residents of these areas. And if you would ask anybody, this is clearly a misplacement of priority on what the needs of the people here are.
When we packed in here newly, then 2009, we were told by the developers that the government will come and do the roads within 1 year of our packing in. And this is 8 years, and nothing has been done. And we pay. So certain times they collect some money from us that they are going to help us do the access roads. Up to now, nothing has been done. 9 good years, and this is Abuja town as an urban area. So they should just come and see what they can do for us. But the most important thing, there are two different things. We need access road and we need recreational facilities too. But road for now is more important, because without the road we cannot access even the garden.
We need the federal government to come. When you go down the road, you see that the road is already breaking. You understand? It's breaking into two. We need the government to come and help us fix the road. That is part of why Nigerians are paying tax. If they don't do all these things, everybody cannot live in the town. People live here. A lot of people live here more than the people living in town. Not only corruption. Corruption, but with the money they've got, they can come and use it and fix the roads. We have this road is totally, I don't know the word to use, but it's bad. It's even part of development if they can move further, because there are lands that are free over there that need to be developed as well.
There are direct accusations leveled against the Federal Capital Development Authority (FCDA) that is responsible for the provision of infrastructure in the Federal Capital City (FCC). It is very sad commentary that a number of these access roads are barely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at most 6 kilometers long. In fact, it is very obvious that construction of these access roads will clearly open up most of these areas where more houses will be constructed and accommodation provided for many more people and families. Unfortunately, however, the construction of the access roads has never been included in the budget of the territory. We were at the office of the FCDA, which along with that of the office of the FCT minister himself is begging, and we must underline, begging for the construction of its own access road.
The people who developed this place are private developers who were actually in partnership with the FCT administration, and they were actually given the development lease agreement to enable them to develop this area, while the government will provide the primary infrastructures that will accommodate the facility that will be coming up here, which includes the roads, the electricity, the sewage, and the water. And as we speak, after about 13 years, because this development lease agreement were all given at about 2002. As we speak now, the government has not been able to play its own part in that agreement, and that is why we're having this situation of bad roads, just an access road. The electricity here is actually by the private developers who have been able to fix it up here, especially the Kabuza Garden Estate, and the roads is not there. The sewage, of course, we're not talking about that. The drainage, we're not talking about that. The water, we're not talking about that, because they are not in sight. If that agreement has been signed about 13-14 years ago and nothing has been done up to today, I really don't understand, or rather I'm afraid what is going to happen in the next couple of years, because if you come here during the rainy season, people are scared of going out or coming in, and the dry season, you can see the dust emanating from the ground.
It's true that the developers actually paid as part of the fees for construction.
There's nothing like payment for construction of If they are talking of, there are commitment fees that they pay. Once they pay for the guideline for the mass housing, those are not paying for infrastructure. The main arterial that is crossing from around the Mumbai area up to the airport expressway, that road is provided by the FCT administration. It's part of the primary infrastructure that serves that place. There's a water pipeline that is being extended from Mumbai area up to the Abuja Technology Village, and is going to go into local Goma, the Dako, where you have Sunnyville, up to Galadima. All those will be done. It's already in process. So I think the important thing is for them to be patient.
The failure of the FCT administration to provide roads in recent times is becoming legendary. Take for instance 3 key linked roads across the capital city. We are talking about the Lokogoma Gadua Gudu Road, which though is an alternative route to ease traffic on the Apo city center, and then the Lokogoma Galadimawa roundabout roads have remained in deplorable condition. Then there is the Katampe-Kado-Mabushi road that would most easily facilitate intra-city transportation and ease traffic on major highways like the Abuja-Kubwa-Zuba-Kaduna Expressway and then the Life Camp-Mabushi-Wuse highways. Unfortunately, the dilapidated nature of these all-important alternative roads have not caught the attention of the FCT authorities, who indeed should know better.
This road don't do here, but many government don't compass. They no one do it.
It's a major access road linking to the whole estate around here.
I was watching a documentary on Kamishia road. I felt so bad. And these are the kind of roads that some small arterial roads we should focus on so we can have easy accessibility.
I have a soft problem from this road. So you really afraid the car.
I'm actually going to my mechanic's place, but the road is extremely terrible. So I don't know if I'm even creating more problem for the car before I even get to the mechanic.
Driving here always, because of the bad roads, we spend 3 hours, 4 hours in the hold up here in the morning.
They say change begins with me, but clearly that change must begin with you, talking of the government. So on our call for action today, we shall take you to the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway that is not only getting worse by the day, but has literally been taken over by grasses, making visibility very poor for motorists. Just take a look. We are very sure the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing and its Minister, Babatunde Fashola, knows that it will also amount to creating jobs to engage youth to cut the grasses and improve visibility along the road. One thing you can be very sure of is the fact that the overgrown grasses are not just only on the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway, but most, if not all, the major highways across the country. This calls for attention and indeed immediate reaction. That's Straight Talk. I am TYAV. TYAV, thanks a lot for investing your time with us, and let's also appreciate our partners, Media Dimensions, for their support. Goodbye from Abuja.
This is a program that analyzes topical issues in